Hey, welcome back. So today I'm going to try something a little bit different. Do a bit of walking here in Santiam through a couple bar areas here. Now it is the middle of the day, so everything's closed, but it is a nice little area to go to that's out of the norm. I'll be going over some of the laws here and how they change and how that really affects operating a bar. So let's get into it. So I'm here up in Santiam in a little club area they have. I'm talking about laws here in Thailand. And so you may have heard that the law around when bars are actually allowed to stay open till and serve alcohol has recently changed from midnight till 4 a.m. Now before that, bars and clubs did stay open later, but they did what was called shuttering. So you would shut the garage door sliding shutters on the front of the bars, not these ones, but on the other ones that we'll see later. They would shut those, and the only way you could get in would you'd have to either go and knock on the door, or maybe they have a side door that you can enter in. And then bars would often stay open quite late. Now, this is obviously illegal, and so they'd get in trouble with the police, and there were times when clubs like this would be potentially raided and they'd have issues with the cops and face either jail time or a large fine. You know, it is kind of funny that Thailand is the place where you have to go home at midnight. The bars have to close at midnight. You think of Thailand and you think, I can party all night long and there's no issues. And like I said, there are the ways that you can go and you can go into a bar that's shuttered, that's an after hours club. But those owners and even the patrons themselves can get in issues. You can get fines even for drinking in those bars late at night. And the owners themselves can face either jail time or large fines. And so they did really pose a threat to making money as a bar in Thailand when you had to worry so much about being shut down. Anyways, what does that mean for us? How do we run the bar when we have to close at midnight? You know, that's obviously limiting the amount of time that you can make money, or else you're going to be potentially causing issues with the police. Now, that only is exacerbated by the fact that if you know the area we're in, we're right in the back corner of the boxing. And so we're looking at the boxing ring, which is great, but that means that they shut off all that area unless you want to pay for a ticket to get in to watch the fights. And so you're limited on the amount of people that you can actually have come and see you while the fights are going on. And the last little while, he's been having fights going every day of the week. A lot of times they're 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I know last year there were only 3 days a week, but this last little bit he's been doing fights 7 days a week, which obviously causes issues for us because those fights don't end until 11:30 sometimes, and I've even seen them go until 12:30. So you have to close essentially right when the fights are done. And that's not beneficial at all because that is when you're going to see an influx of customers. You know, in this area, or at least down where our bar is, a lot of people only want to go out late at night. So they start going out at like 10 or 11 and then they want to stay out late at night. And so that makes it really hard when customers can't even come see you until after the fights are even done at 11:30 or 12. Now, the one benefit for our bar and why I really chose that location when I decided to buy a bar was we do have a door on the street. So they can get in from the street side and come into the bar as well as coming from the boxing side. But that's still not as beneficial as people being able to come in all the time. And so obviously that having been able to stay open till 4 a.m. now without having any issues is going to really, really benefit us on having more customers come in the door because we can just stay open longer with no issues. Now, one of the other interesting things about Thailand is how they work with the laws, how laws change here. And it's kind of crazy, but a lot of the ways it works is, for instance, you look at the marijuana law. So before last year, I believe, marijuana was completely illegal. It was outlawed in Thailand. You were not allowed to use it at all. And then it seemed like overnight it was completely legal and there were shops everywhere and it was the wild, wild west in terms of marijuana. You could do whatever you wanted. You could sell whatever you wanted. And there really not a lot of legislation around that. And now, actually, it's been a little over a year and now they're introducing some legislation that will limit that to bring it back a bit. Whether that's for the good or the bad, I have no idea. But to kind of bring it back and regulate the consumption and selling of marijuana. And that's kind of how it works here. They'll try a law, see how the public likes it, see how it's received, and then based on that reception, they'll change it. So, you know, with this change in law and open until 4 a.m., if you have a large percentage of increasing accidents or public drunkenness or violence, then maybe they'll draw the law back again and limit it to being 2 a.m. I really have no idea, but that just seems to be how it is. But the nice thing about that is that the government really listens to the public. They listen to the public opinion, and in a large sense, that's how they govern. Now, I'm not going to say completely because it's obviously not completely going to be like that anywhere, but it is nice that they do actually listen to public opinion. So I hope that gave you a bit of an oversight on the laws here in Thailand and how they change. I really do hope that this staying open till 4 a.m. is going to be beneficial and will stick around, because it's only going to really help the bars, I think, and it'll allow tourists to do what they want without having to fear getting kicked out or potentially fined. Now, if you are interested in my content, this is kind of a new video for me. I'm not used to doing the walking talking, so probably not the best video ever, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you do want to keep up to date on what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Cheers.